Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. It is February 24th, 2020. As you guys know, March 3rd is going to be the release of Warlords New York, which is going to be the new expansion that's going to be added, which will give us new brand set changes, new weapons like the exotics, new gear set changes, new apparel events, and more, and also a whole new area of Lower Manhattan to explore where you'll track down Aaron Keener and his rogue agents to take him down. But that's going to be released on March 3rd. You guys can pick it up for pre-order if you guys haven't now, which if you really want it and you're a big fan of this game, I'd recommend doing so, or you could just wait for the reviews to come out and then pick it up then. But this video is going to be based on the 4 new brand sets that are going to be added to Warlord New York, and some of you guys may have already seen these already, but I know some people haven't, and I wanted to get these out there so you guys can see what they do. One of them has been out for a while, which you probably will recognize. That's going to be one I'm going to be covering as well, but it has been out here. It's been tossed around, and you guys probably won't be surprised by what it does, but I'm just going to throw it in here anyway. But the first one is going to be the Crash Bag, which is standard, which is level 33, which this is a brand set bonus, which is 20% skill haste, 10% skill damage, and weapon damage. I can see a lot of people with skill builds running this as the 2-piece or even the 1-piece, so if they're lacking a little bit of skill haste, they could just throw the gloves on or the holster or whatever and make up for skill haste, and also roll skill haste on that piece, so they could get a pretty decent skill haste buff for their skills. And also if they want to run the 2-piece, you know, they could run something like the gloves or the backpack. They could have skill damage as well. Also, 5% weapon damage. If you're lacking a little bit of weapon damage, you could always add this to that brand set and make it for damage if you're trying to get to a certain mark on your build. Next is going to be the one I know a lot of you guys have seen already, and that's going to be Sombra, as most of my friends call it, or whatever you want to call it, Sombra SA or Grupo Sombra, and that's 15% crit hit damage, and which is going to be insane in this new update when they change some of these stuff. As alone, you know, as you guys know, Providence and Sock Lab have changed to crit style builds for SMG damage, and you could use Providence as an AR or SMG because it's just weapon damage, and crit chance. So just alone 15% crit hit damage is going to be really nice if you want to make a DPS style build or even a glass cannon style build. You could just run the 1-piece and have this as a, you know, just gloves or even, you know, the holster, and just have that 15% crit damage, then stack more crit hit damage onto that piece you're already using, and just have a lot of crit stacked onto that, you know, that brand set, or combine it with a gear set. Then you have explosive damage and headshot damage, which if you're making an explosive style build, you could always run the 2-piece and get explosive damage with it, and you could run the 3-piece for headshot damage. So I'm really excited to see how people make builds with this brand set. Next up is going to be the third one, which is going to be the Golden Gear LTD, which is status effects, armor regeneration, and total armor, which I can see a lot of people using this one because there are a lot of people who use status effects style builds, mostly the Hive in this update. It's been, as you guys know, if you've been playing the game long enough, you've seen it. I've seen it. Also, they've changed how the flame turret works, so people will probably be running the flame turret and running the 1-piece. That way they can just get status effects, and also the armor regeneration if they run the 2-piece and 3-piece, so they could get some total armor. So I could see people combining the 1-piece and the 2-piece with a skill style brand set, or even, you know, a gear set to get a little bit of armor generation back and get the stats effect damage. And as you guys know, there are, you know, stuff like the oxidizer and the you know, flame and stuff like that for stats effects people will be using, and the new sticky bomb, or the old sticky bomb, is being added to the game, which people are calling the new one, which is pretty much a Division 1 skill if you guys did not play Division 1, which will be back. So I can't wait to see what kind of stats effects you can make with that, with explosive and stuff like that. And supposedly there's an EMP, which is the disruptor from the first game, that's going to be on as well, but I'm 100% sure about that. Now, the last one is going to be the Rapid Deployment Mask, which I'm not even going to pronounce this. It's Seska Varob, SRO. I cannot pronounce that because it's like it's foreign, and I'm American, I'm sorry. But 10% crit chance, 10% hazard protection, and 8% health. I can see a lot of people combining this with a DPS style build due to the fact that you get 10% crit chance alone, or if you're making a sniper build and you're trying to make up for crit and you want to spec in a really high crit damage. And if you guys didn't know, some of these stats are going to be gone. Stuff like surgical and critical are no longer a thing. So you're going to have to make up from crit from with your mods and your rolls, and also the brand set, you know, talents that are going to give you. So if you want really high crit, you'll have to spec into some of the brand sets that will give you high crit. And also DNH and Wyvern are no longer the brand sets that give you crit. Those are based around DNH's pistol damage, and Wyvern is now based around utility. So if you want crit, I'd recommend specking into crit on your build and using stuff like this, Sombra, or even Providence. making it into crit style build. And also you have hazard protection, which hazard protection is no longer a thing as well, which that's been removed. Insulated and perfectly insulated are no longer a thing, which I'm not. People are a bit mad about perfectly insulated, but you can still get hazard protection, but it's going to be a minor stat roll. So if people are using burn builds, then you're definitely going to want to spec into hazard, and you can always get 8% health. So if you wanted to combine this with a survivability style build, you can, and also have a little bit of damage on top of it. But just a reminder too, this is just a level 33 piece on all these. These are all level 33 and they're green. So just imagine how high the armor is going to be once it gets to level 40, and see what kind of stats you can get on these pieces and make some crazy builds. But that's about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I upload pretty much daily Division 2 content, and I cannot wait for March 3rd to be here, and I'll be uploading a lot more builds and also stuff that has been new to the game. As always, I'll catch you guys all later.
Your job, Agent, is to protect this delusion. And I have sworn to destroy it. You can try to stop me, hunt me down,